Something extraordinary is happening right now. And if you're watching this video, it is not by accident. Let me say that again. You did not stumble upon this content by chance. The algorithm did not randomly push this into your feed out of millions of other videos. There is a force, an intelligence, a divine orchestration behind every single moment of your life. And it brought you here, to this screen, to this exact message, at this exact moment in your journey, because you needed to hear what I'm about to tell you. You are a chosen one. Not chosen because you are perfect, not chosen because you have never fallen, not chosen because you have never doubted or questioned or cried on your bathroom floor wondering why things keep falling apart. You are chosen precisely because you have been through the fire and you are still here. You survived what was designed to break you. And now, the universe is doing something unprecedented in your life. It is returning what was taken. It is restoring what was lost. It is reversing what seemed permanent. The money that walked away from you, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, the doors that slammed shut in your face. They are coming back. Not just coming back, but coming back with interest, coming back amplified, coming back in forms you could not have imagined when you first lost them. Get ready. What just broke open in your life is bigger than you currently understand. And by the time this video ends, you will feel it in your bones. Say part 1. Why the money left in the first place. Before we talk about the return, we need to talk about the departure, because the chosen one's path always includes a season of loss. Always. This is not punishment, this is not the universe telling you that you are not worthy, not capable, not deserving. This is the universe running you through its most sacred and ancient purification process, stripping away everything that was not aligned with who you are truly meant to become. Think about the money that left your life. Think about the deals that fell through, the investments that collapsed, the jobs that ended, the businesses that didn't survive, the checks that bounced, the accounts that drained faster than you could fill them. It hurt. God, it hurt. There were moments where you looked at your bank account and felt something close to terror. There were nights where you did the math in your head and the numbers didn't add up and you lay there in the dark staring at the ceiling, trying to understand what you did wrong. What you did wrong, that's the lie the ego tells you during the stripping season, that you caused this, that you are the problem, that you are somehow fundamentally broken or cursed or less than. But here is the truth that the universe whispers to every single chosen one when they are brave enough to get quiet and listen. The money didn't leave because you failed. The money left because it was carrying the energy of the old version of you, a version that no longer serves your highest path. The old money had strings attached, it had compromise attached, it had smallness attached, it had the energy of settling, of playing it safe, of being who other people needed you to be rather than who you actually are. And the universe, in its infinite love for you, could not allow you to build your empire on a cracked foundation, so it cleared the ground painfully, thoroughly, completely. And now that the ground is clear, now that the old structures have been demolished, now that you have been stripped down to your most essential self, the new foundation can be poured, and this time, what gets built on it will last. Part 2. The silence before the breakthrough. Every chosen one has a wilderness season. Every single one. Moses had 40 years in the desert. Joseph had years in prison after years of slavery. Jesus had 40 days of trial in the wilderness. Buddha sat under a tree for weeks before enlightenment cracked him open. The pattern is ancient and it is consistent. Before the breakthrough, there is always silence. Before the flood of blessings, there is always a drought. And the drought is not just about the absence of money or opportunity. The drought is about the absence of certainty, the absence of visible proof that things are going to work out. The drought asks you the most important question of your entire spiritual journey. Can you believe in something you cannot yet see? Can you stay faithful to your vision when the evidence around you contradicts it entirely? Can you keep moving forward when every logical signal says to give up? This is where most people fall away. This is the crucible that separates the chosen from the merely interested, because everyone wants the breakthrough. Everyone wants the money returned, the doors opened, the life expanded, but not everyone is willing to sit in the silence. Not everyone is willing to trust the process when the process looks like nothing, when the process looks like waiting, when the process looks like yet another month passing without visible movement. But you are still here. You sat in that silence. Maybe you complained, maybe you doubted, maybe you screamed into your pillow once or twice, but you stayed, you didn't quit. You didn't abandon your post. And that persistence, that stubborn refusal to let go of the belief that something better is coming, that is the thing that marks you as chosen. That is the signal the universe has been waiting for. That is the proof that you are ready for what is about to come through. Part 3. Recognizing the signs of the return. Pay attention, because the return doesn't always arrive announced. It doesn't always show up looking like a check in the mail or a sudden job offer or a client paying in full overnight. Sometimes the return begins as a feeling, a shift in the air around you. A subtle but undeniable sense that something has changed, not in your circumstances yet, but in the energy field surrounding your life. Have you felt it? Have you had a moment recently where you woke up and something felt different, where a thought came to you out of nowhere, a name, a business idea, an old contact you haven't spoken to in years, and you felt that electric pulse in your chest that you haven't felt in a long time? That's the universe tapping you on the shoulder. That's the beginning of the return sequence activating. The signs are everywhere once you know what to look for. Unexpected conversations with strangers who turn out to hold the key you've been looking for. A random video recommendation, perhaps even this one, that contains information you needed at exactly the right moment. A sudden clarity about a decision you've been agonizing over. A door that seemed locked for months finally showing you a window. A person from your past reaching back out. An apology you weren't expecting. A second chance at something you thought was permanently closed. These are not coincidences. The chosen one must understand that the universe communicates in the language of synchronicity. When these signs start clustering together, when the coincidences become too frequent and too precise to explain away with logic, it means the return is imminent. It means the season of drought is ending and the rains are coming. And when the rains come for a chosen one, they do not come as a light drizzle, they come as a flood. Part 4. What returned money really means. Let's go deeper than the surface interpretation, because if you only understand the money as financial dollars returning to your bank account, you will miss the full magnitude of what the universe is actually orchestrating for you. Yes, the financial return is real. Yes, you will see movement in your material world, but the returned money is a symbol of something far more profound. It is the universe's acknowledgement that you have completed the lesson, passed the test, and are now cleared to receive at the level you were always cosmically designed for. When money returns to a chosen one, it doesn't return alone. It brings with it the energy of recognition. The universe saying you were right to keep going. You were right to refuse to settle. You were right to believe in the vision even when no one else could see it. The returned money carries the frequency of validation, and for someone who has spent months or years in a season of doubt, in a season of being questioned and dismissed and overlooked and underestimated, that validation is just as healing as the financial relief itself. But there's even more. The returned money is also an initiation. It is the universe handing you a test of a new and different kind. Can you handle abundance without losing yourself? Can you remain grounded when the pressure lifts? Can you use this influx of energy, because that is what money is, energy, in alignment with your highest values and your deepest purpose? This is where many people who receive their breakthrough unconsciously sabotage it. They receive the return and then they contract, they get nervous. They spend from a place of compensation for all the scarcity they endured. They give the money away too fast, or hoard it out of fear, or invest it in things that are not aligned with their next level. The chosen one who truly understands what is happening will receive the return with open hands and a clear mind. They will honor it as sacred. They will steward it as a gift. And in doing so, they will ensure that it multiplies rather than disappears. Part 5. The spiritual technology of receiving. Nobody teaches you how to receive. We are taught how to work, how to strive, how to earn, how to push and grind and sacrifice. But receiving, true, open, unblocked receiving is a skill. It is a spiritual technology. And most people, even the most spiritually awakened, have deep, unconscious blocks in this area. The chosen one who is on the verge of their financial return needs to understand this, because if you go into the receiving season with closed hands, with doubt in your heart, with the voice in the back of your mind saying, this won't last, or I don't deserve this, or something will go wrong, you will unconsciously create exactly that reality. You will fulfill the prophecy of the inner critic. So let's talk about how to receive. The first principle of receiving is surrender. Not passive giving up, active intentional surrender. It is the practice of consciously releasing your grip on the outcome and trusting that what is coming to you is already in motion. It means stopping the obsessive checking of your bank account, your email, your messages, looking for proof that something is happening. The proof is already there in the energetic realm. Your job is to hold the frequency of already received while the physical reality catches up to the spiritual one. The second principle is gratitude acceleration. This is not about toxic positivity or pretending things are fine when they are not. This is about training your nervous system to recognize and amplify evidence of good in your life, because what you focus on expands. When you notice even the smallest financial blessing, a discount, an unexpected gift, a found dollar in an old coat pocket, and you treat it as proof of the abundance flowing toward you, you are literally rewiring your brain and your energy field to attract more of the same. The third principle is worthiness embodiment. This is the deepest work, because the truth is, many of us have inherited beliefs about money that are not ours. Beliefs from our parents, from our culture, from our religion, from our earliest experiences of lack. And those beliefs, buried in the subconscious, act as invisible ceilings that block the full return from lending. The work of the chosen one at this stage is to actively, consciously, deliberately choose a new belief system, to look in the mirror and say, I am worthy of abundance, not because I have earned it perfectly, but because I exist, because I am a divine creation, because my life has value. Say it until you feel it until you embody it until it becomes the truth from which you operate. Part 6. The people who doubted you are about to witness something. Let's take a moment and acknowledge something that we don't often talk about in spiritual spaces because it feels uncomfortable. But it is real and it is part of your story. There were people who doubted you. There were people who looked at your vision and shook their heads. Who told you to be realistic? Who suggested you get a stable job, a backup plan, a more sensible approach to life? There were people, maybe people you loved, maybe people whose opinion you valued deeply, who said with their words or their energy or their silence, I don't believe this is going to work for you. And you carried that. You carried the weight of their disbelief alongside your own doubt. You tried to prove them wrong, and sometimes you just wanted to give up and admit they might have been right. But here is what is about to happen. The breakthrough that is incoming for you is not just a personal victory. It is a public testimony. It is a demonstration for everyone who witnessed your struggle that the chosen one's path is real, that the faith was warranted, that the persistence paid off, that the universe did not forget you. Now, I want to be very careful here because this is not about revenge. The spiritually mature chosen one does not seek vindication as a form of ego satisfaction. We don't build our success as a weapon against those who didn't believe in us. That kind of motivation, while it can fuel you in the short term, carries a poison in it that will corrupt the very thing you're trying to build. The right orientation is this. Let your success be a gift that you offer, not a proof that you demand. Let the people who doubted you witness your elevation and find their own inspiration in it. Let the testimony of your life open doors in their perception of what is possible. Be gracious in the winning, be humble in the overflow. Because the truly chosen know that the victory was never about being right, It was always about becoming who you were meant to be. Part 7. Why this moment is cosmically different. There is something unusual happening in the energetic field of our collective reality right now. Something that goes beyond just your personal journey. We are living through a period of massive accelerated karmic clearing on a global scale. Old systems that were built on exploitation, on imbalance, on the hoarding of resources by the few at the expense of the many, these systems are breaking down. They are revealing their cracks, their corruption, their fundamental misalignment with the natural laws of abundance that govern the universe. And as these old systems break down, they are releasing energy that has been locked and suppressed. Financial energy, creative energy, opportunity energy. This released energy has to go somewhere. And the universe, in its infinite intelligence, is routing it toward the people who have done the inner work, toward the people who have been refined by their struggles, toward the people who have aligned themselves with the frequency of service, of genuine value creation, of contribution, toward the chosen ones. This is why right now, not 5 years from now, not when circumstances are perfect, but right now, is the most fertile ground for financial breakthroughs that many of us have ever experienced. The veil between what you have been praying for and what you are living is thinner than it has ever been. The gap between the life you can feel in your imagination and the life you are physically experiencing is closing at a rate that should be breathtaking. If you have ever been going to have your season, this is it. The cosmic timing has aligned. The personal preparation has been done. The tests have been passed. The old energy has been cleared. The ground is ready. The seed is ready. And the rain is coming. Part 8. The Quantum Leap. What happens when the floodgates open? People who have not experienced a true quantum leap in their financial reality often assume that breakthroughs happen gradually, that they grow steadily, incrementally, in a predictable upward line. But the chosen one's path is not linear, it is exponential, it is quantum. A quantum leap means that you skip steps. You don't climb the ladder rung by rung, you jump from the bottom to the top in a single bound. And the jump doesn't feel logical, it doesn't feel earned in the traditional sense, it feels almost impossibly sudden. One week you are wondering how you're going to pay a bill. The next week an opportunity appears that changes your entire financial trajectory. 1 month you are grinding with no visible return. The next month 3 things collapse together into a perfect storm of abundance. This is how it happens for the chosen. Not the slow grind of someone who is doing things the conventional way. The sudden, explosive, almost miraculous shift of someone who has been vibrating at the frequency of their breakthrough for so long that when the universe finally releases it, it comes through all at once. And here is something critical you need to understand about the quantum leap. It always looks impossible until it happens. The person you're about to become, the life you're about to step into, is completely invisible from where you currently stand. You cannot logic your way into believing it's possible, because there is no logical precedent in your experience that would justify the belief. That's the whole point. That's exactly why most people never experience it. They require logical proof before they will allow themselves to believe in quantum possibilities. But the chosen one learns to make a different choice. They choose belief before the evidence. They choose expansion before the proof. They choose the quantum leap, and then they watch reality rearrange itself to match that choice. Part 9. Your assignment in this new season. You are being handed a new assignment. The season you are entering is not just about receiving, it is about becoming. Becoming a steward of expanded resources. Becoming a leader in your sphere. Becoming a living example of what is possible when someone refuses to give up on their divine inheritance. Your assignment in this new season has several dimensions. The first is clarity. You must get absolutely clear about what you are building and why. The money that is returning to you is fuel, and fuel is only as good as the engine you pour it into. If you don't have a clear vision for what this abundance is meant to serve, it will scatter. It will leak out in 100 unmemorable directions. So get a journal, Sit in silence and write down with devastating specificity what this season is for. What does your expanded life look like? Who does it serve? What does it create? What problems does it solve? The second dimension of your assignment is boundaries. As your life expands, the people and energies around you will shift. Some people who were in your inner circle will not be able to hold the frequency of your next level. Some relationships that served you in your season of struggle will not serve you in your season of overflow. This is not about abandoning anyone. It is about being honest about where your energy needs to go and protecting it fiercely. The third dimension is service. The chosen one who receives in order to keep is always smaller than the chosen one who receives in order to give. When you understand that the abundance flowing to you is partly meant to flow through you, to fund missions, to support others, to contribute to the collective shift happening in our world, you tap into a current of generosity that amplifies everything you touch. Give from abundance, tithe from overflow, be a channel, not a container. Part 10. The emotional release that must happen first. Before the full physical manifestation of your breakthrough arrives, there will be an emotional release. This is not optional. It is part of the process. And many chosen ones are so close to their breakthrough right now, but are unconsciously blocking it because they have not yet allowed themselves to fully feel and release the grief of what they lost. The years of struggle, the relationships that didn't survive the pressure, the versions of your dream that had to die so a better version could be born, the things you gave up, the sacrifices you made, the parts of yourself you had to surrender on the altar of growth. You have to grieve these things. Not because grief is weakness. Grief is one of the most powerful spiritual practices available to human beings. It is the process by which we acknowledge what was real, honor what it meant, and then consciously release it so that our hands can be free to receive what is coming. If you find yourself crying unexpectedly, allow it. If you find yourself feeling a sudden wave of exhaustion or melancholy, even as you sense the breakthrough approaching, don't fight it. This is your nervous system completing the circuit. This is your subconscious mind letting go of the survival patterns that kept you safe in the scarcity season but are no longer needed in the abundance season. Cry the tears, feel the feelings, write the words, have the conversation with yourself that you've been avoiding. Do the thing you have been too afraid or too tired to do. Clear the emotional bandwidth, because on the other side of that release, a clarity and a lightness will emerge that you have not felt in a very long time. And in that clarity, in that lightness, the universe will move swiftly, decisively, undeniably. Part 11. A direct message to your subconscious mind. I want to speak now not just to your conscious mind, not just to the intellectual part of you that is processing these words. I want to speak to the deeper part of you, the part that holds your patterns, the part that has been running old programs about money and worthiness and what you deserve. Subconscious mind, listen, the old story is over. The story that said money is hard to come by. The story that said you have to suffer for what you receive. The story that said people like you don't get to have the things you secretly dream about. The story that said the universe plays favorites and you are not one of them. These stories served a purpose once. They were protective mechanisms built from the evidence of painful experiences, designed to keep you safe from the devastation of hoping and being disappointed. But they have outlived their usefulness. They are now the cage, not the protection. And today, in this moment, I am inviting you, and the intelligence that lives in you is inviting you to try on a new story. Not because you have proof it's true yet, but because you are the author. Because the story you run is the story you live. New story. Abundance is my natural state. Money flows to me easily and from unexpected sources. I am worthy of financial freedom not because I have earned it perfectly, but because I am a sovereign, divine being and abundance is my birthright. My hands are open, my heart is open, my life is open. I receive. I receive. I receive. Read that again and again. Let it sink below the surface of the intellectual mind into the cellular memory of your body. Let it become the new default setting of your subconscious operating system, because this is the internal shift that precedes the external shift every single time. Part 12. The final test. Holding your frequency as the breakthrough arrives. Here is the final piece, the last test. And in some ways it is the most difficult one. When the breakthrough begins to arrive, when the first signs of the return show up in your physical reality, there will be a powerful impulse to contract, to second guess, to brace for disappointment, to prepare for the other shoe to drop. This is the final test of the chosen one. Can you receive good news without immediately bracing for the catch? Can you allow abundance to arrive without immediately calculating all the ways it could disappear? Can you celebrate the breakthrough without the background noise of "this is too good to be true"? This is the pattern that has sabotaged many people's breakthroughs at the final moment, not because the breakthrough wasn't real, not because the universe changed its mind, but because the chosen one, at the crucial moment of arrival, could not hold the frequency of worthiness under pressure. So your practice, starting now, is this. Every time a positive financial sign appears in your life, no matter how small, choose to amplify it in your mind rather than minimize it. Choose to treat it as proof that the full return is on its way rather than as a fluke that will not be repeated. Build the evidence file of your own abundance. Stack the testimonies of the universe showing up for you, one by one, until the weight of the evidence overrides the old skepticism. And when the big breakthrough arrives, and it will arrive, stand in it fully. Don't shrink, don't deflect, don't immediately start worrying about what comes next. Be present in the miracle, acknowledge it, honor it. Let yourself feel the joy, the relief, the validation, the love of the universe pouring through the channel of this moment. You earned this. Not with your perfection, but with your persistence. Not with your flawlessness, but with your faith. You are the chosen one. And what just broke open in your life is only the beginning of everything that was always meant to be yours. Before you close this video, I need you to do one thing. Not tomorrow, not later today. Right now. Take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And with each exhale, release a little more of the tension you've been holding. The vigilance, the worry, the protective armor you've been wearing since the last time things fell apart. You can set it down now. You don't need it anymore. The season that required that armor is ending. A new season, one that requires softness, openness, receptivity, trust, is beginning. The universe is not your adversary. Life is not conspiring against you. The delays were not punishment. The losses were not proof that you don't deserve good things. Everything that happened in your last season was the curriculum of your transformation. And you passed. You passed the test of faith in the dark. You passed the test of staying when leaving would have been easier. You passed the test of maintaining your vision when the evidence around you offered nothing but contradiction. And now the universe, which has been watching every moment of this journey with perfect attention and perfect love, is presenting you with your return, your money, your opportunities, your doors, your people, your time. Everything that left, it is coming back. Everything that broke, it is being repaired. Everything that seemed permanently closed, there is a key being placed in your hand right now. This is not wishful thinking. This is the ancient law of divine compensation, playing out in your life exactly as it has played out in the lives of every chosen one who ever walked this earth and refused to give up. You are in excellent company. You have always been in excellent company. And your story, the full, magnificent, unbelievable, jaw-dropping story of everything you survived and everything you became and everything the universe restored to you. It is just getting to the good part. Stay, believe, receive. You are the chosen one. And something massive just broke open. Welcome to your new beginning.